So, we're going to talk about James Harden today and just the whole situation with Houston, with wanting traded. Does he want traded? Does he not want traded? We're going to talk about all of it. But first off, if you enjoy daily sports videos about the NBA, NFL, college football, and college basketball, I do all four of them. Make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications on, y'all. If you enjoy this video in particular, just make sure to like it. It'll help me out a lot. And yeah, let's get into it. So, James Harden, I'm not a huge fan. I've never claimed to be a James Harden fan, and I never will. If he spent half the time he spent in clubs working on, defense or something, another area like that, he would be much better. With that being said, however, he is the best pure scorer in the NBA, probably the best pure scorer since a while, honestly. Um, and so, for those of y'all that don't know, the Wizards have been having personal workouts to not the Wizards, gosh darn. The Rockets have been having personal workouts today and over the past few days, I believe, and James Harden has not showed up for that. Any of them. Um, Instead, he has opted to hang out with Meek Mill, Lil Baby, I believe. Yeah, so he's done nothing. Been seen at clubs, all of that. So clearly the man wants out. At least in my opinion, okay? And the reason for that being he's requested a trade already, I guess. He's holding out now. It's just confusing. And then he posted that whole Instagram video of him like with the cap. It's just a confusing situation. I do have an issue with this, okay? And it starts with player empowerment. So player empowerment is just, the idea that the players have power, which they do. I mean, they are the game. And there are the good sides of player empowerment, such as, wanting being able to request a trade in the first place and getting yourself out of a bad situation. And there's, super teams like forming them, like LeBron going to Miami was the start of the player empowerment era. There's good things, but then there's bad things. And one of the bad things is these messy NBA, issues where you have a superstar such as James who has signed a multi-year contract wanting out of a situation. And well, you could say there are several different ways you could look at this if you are a Rockets, fan slash management person. The first solution is to just fine James Harden. Fine him every single day. Every day he doesn't come to practice, you just fine that man. All right. I mean, he's sure to show up eventually. He likes money. He sure spends enough at his strip clubs. Um, that's one solution. The other way is just kind of let this all play out. Okay. There's no real in between. Those are the only two solutions, short of trading him, which I don't think they should. Now, I think they fine him because if not, he's not going to learn a lesson and he's not going to come to practice. Okay. And by just letting him stand there and do what he wants, you're sending a very, not necessarily dangerous, I guess, but at the same time, yes, you are sending a dangerous message that the players are greater than the organization. Okay? If I am in that Houston Rockets front office, I should feel no pressure at all. And I feel like they do. I think that they will handle this more or less fairly well. But they should feel no pressure at all to trade James Harden. And they should feel no pressure at all to trade him to the team that he wants to go to. Now, he has given this, team many loyal years, many playoff appearances. Playoff success is another story, but he's given this team a lot. I think we can all admit that. And they should want to do what's best for both him and the organization. But at the same time, this is a business. And if that means sending James Harden back to Oklahoma City, then so be it. I mean, it's quite simple, honestly. If the Knicks come to you with one trade package and the Nets come to you with another trade package, and the Knicks trade package is a ton better than the Nets trade package, what are you going to do if you're the Rockets? Do you reward James Harden for, just kind of being here for 4 years, not really doing too much? I mean, regular season, yeah, but just choking in the playoffs straight up? I mean, do you reward him for that and send him to the team he wants to go to, even though it means getting substantially less for him? Or do you send him to, the team that can give you the best offer? For this, I think we need to look at the last time an MVP level candidate was traded, and that is Paul George. Traded to the Clippers that one off season. Everybody remembers that. He was an MVP candidate that year. He was the dark horse. He was the third option between James Harden himself and Giannis. Okay. So far, what we've seen is that James Harden is much more consistent during the regular season. That is for sure. And he's a much more consistent MVP option. Paul George fell out of that race this year. And while you could argue that that was due to injury, you could also argue it was due to him just, falling off skill wise. Okay, so any trade offer that they're going to have is going to be equal to 2 or around 5 first round picks, younger talent, and a veteran presence. So for the Nets, this could look something like, say, Jared Allen, all of those picks, and maybe Karis LeVert. I mean, look, maybe even more picks, maybe like 6 or 7 first round picks. As many picks as the Nets can give. Okay. Which obviously this raises the whole question of should a team mortgage their future for an aging superstar? That's a topic for another day. Long story short, the Houston Rockets have all the power here, in my opinion. James Harden can hold out all he wants. If he says, I am not going to play a game until you trade me, then you find that man until he is walking down the street with no shoes, no socks, right? If he comes to camp, then don't. If he plays games, don't find him at all. Handle the situation professionally, okay? Please don't make a mockery of yourself trying to, I'm talking to James mostly about this. Don't make a mockery of yourself. Come to practice, show that you are a team player, and talk to management privately. Say, hey, I want out of this situation. Can you please trade me? I will show up to these practices. I will show up to the games. I will play in the games. Just please get me out of here. And if they don't oblige to that, then you can sit out if you really wanted to. But I feel like they're going to give it a couple of goes with, John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, the whole new roster they've built around them. Yeah, that's about it. So, message from the story. I don't like James Harden. I never have and I never will. Um, he does not have the power here, but he should act professional. It will go a long way, in my opinion, and in the public opinion. And yeah, if he wants a vein, he should just vent on it at this point, flat out. Just don't even try and deny it and say, yes, I want to, literally build a team. Say, yeah, I want to win a vein, and I want to win a vein now. Because that's the one, blemish that's holding him back in his career. Kind of, irrelevant, but they're, the race for, best shooting guard of all time. Shooting guard of all time is already, Michael Jordan. 2 and 3, Kobe and D Wade. You can argue about the order there. Honestly, you probably could. But fourth AI, I guess maybe. I mean, Jerry West fifth. Actually, Jerry West might have been a point guard. But the point I'm trying to make here is Harden could totally be in the conversation for second best point guard of all time, in my opinion, if he was to win rings at this point. That's the one, major issue people are going to have against him. He's won MVP before. He just needs to win a ring. A finals MVP would be nice, but just a ring at this point would vault him up so high in the conversation. Anyways, that is the story for today. As I said before, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy daily sports videos about NFL, NBA, college football, college basketball. Like the video if you liked, this type of content. And if you have any, video suggestions for me, just leave them down in the comments below. Yeah, that's about it from me, y'all. Peace out. Have a good day, y'all.